they are hidden, I think, in the culture of win-lose.
This is okay. This is amazing. This is the conversation that is at the forefront of what entrepreneurially, and as a business person who has lived so much in the material world, playing that game that you're talking about, wanting to now take all my wisdom and knowledge and everything that I know to have a different game. I'm one person. Okay. And a lot of the community that you and I live in is getting to this win-win. So for me, it boils down very simply, and there's a lot of work in like Course in Miracles. This comes from the Course in Miracles, and Marianne Williamson speaks of this quite a bit, is that we think we have many problems, but we only have one. And it's the idea that we're disconnected from each other and everything. So when you understand as your fundamental belief system that you are connected to everything, every person, every material item, every piece of nature, then you treat people very, very differently. Okay. So that fundamental, what I would like to see, and if I was going to have any message for the world at all, it would be this. I would like for us to be able to introduce into our material systems, our business structures, the idea that we are all connected, because we can create systems and structures based on that fundamental idea that will shift and change and still work. I mean,
Absolutely.
Nature does it. Nature cooperates.
Oh,
now, do I have all the answers of how to design it? I do not. However, that's what I've done in my career, is I design systems and structures and business models. So if I can have any influence, okay, not me only as a person, but as a community of the community that we sort of
community.
As a member of a community,
right.
What I can see my position and role and purpose in this life is to have some impact in the arena that looks like how we take consciousness evolution into our structures of business and how we operate. Because how can we create at the highest level of order, still have massive success, still be in kind of some of the systems of the Republican Party where, you know, those that are motivated to create something, and then there are the people, there are the leaders, and there are the people that just want to be on board with the leaders. We all are playing a role that way, right? So it doesn't take anything away from that. But if the leader understands and sets the structure from the place of the connection to everything, it will be a completely different world. That is the most simple.
So I couldn't have planned this if I tried. Part of the reason why I want to do this show is because I had a vision, 9 years ago, 10 years ago at this point in time. I was at a Soul Cycle class. It was actually a charity event. And so all the money went to, whatever. And it was a friend of mine's birthday. And that's what she does for her birthdays, is she throws fundraisers for whatever charities that she's working on. And so you pay your money, you go and do a Soul Cycle class. I'd never done a Soul Cycle class, so I had no idea what I was going into. I just thought you get on a bike and you ride, and they tell, huff it harder, you're going uphill now, and, lift the weights and whatever. And what it really is, it's a guided meditation. It's roughly an hour long guided meditation through exercise, through bicycling. So you're on a stationary bike, and they guide you through a mental visual landscape of success and, journey and the struggle and whatever. And it's really beautiful and really amazing. And I had two visions in the course of that, because I was working so hard. I was sweating. It's a dark room, and, for lack of a better word, it was psychedelic. I wasn't on anything. I was completely sober. There was no drugs, no alcohol, no nothing involved. It was just the endorphins, the natural endogenous chemicals of our brains. And I'll just encapsulate it to a nutshell, is that I had this envision of like an icon. And it would be like also a video, which the video I haven't created, the icon I have created, we've got one Earth, we've got the same air, and we've got the same water. And a visual graphic representation of that had kind of come to me, and this kind of video of the out to the in came to me, and I was like, this is it. Like, this is what I've got to do. And so for the last like 10 years, I've been trying to figure out how to put this message out of, if every conversation can start from, we're on the same planet, we drink the same water, and we breathe the same air. I don't care if you're in China, Russia, Australia, the United States, South America, North America, whatever. It doesn't matter where you are. We are on the same earth. We breathe the same air, and we drink the same water. And we're
one organism. We are a organism is what we are.
And it's scientifically proven. It's mathematically proven. Like, it's religiously proven. Like, I don't care which spectrum you come from, it's a reality, whether you're flat earth or an actual globe. It doesn't matter. We're still, stuck here together. And I wasn't sure how or when I was going to introduce it. So onto the show. So I'm, in my preamble before this, I will, put that in there, and I'll introduce the concept and the logo, and hopefully you'll help me promote that. And it's a really cool logo. A friend of mine who I'm going to do an episode with, I think in February. Of course, I'm not sure when this is coming out, but so this could be February now that people are listening to this, but I'm going to meet with her, which she's amazing, and she's doing some amazing things. And her last thing as a graphic designer was designing this logo for me. And I've been waiting for nearly 2 years to be able to put it out there. And so I think this will be the episode that I put it out there. And
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a simple logo. I'll send it to you later. But so when this episode comes out, that will be the beginning of the push of the conversation, where if just every conversation starts with, we're on the same planet, we breathe the same air, we drink the same water, and every conversation starts with that, then everything else changes. Because, from a corporate standpoint, like, well, how do you pollute the oceans? Because that's your water. That's your drinking water. Right. You're polluting.
That's right.
Even if it's in India, it's you, and you're in the United States, it's your drinking water you're polluting. It's going to make it over here. Like, we know this. There's no way around it. And, we've got to acknowledge it, and we've got to do something about it.
It just requires us all to, we can call it wake up, we can call it, we're coming into, if we want to look at from a big point of view, we're in the cycle of change now. We are in that cycle of waking up. We are in that cycle of getting to that same conclusion that we're talking about. We all know it. Some are just they're not caring as much,
we take it for granted.
It's just being taken for granted. So I'm very hopeful that we are moving into that. And I know that there's a lot of people, a lot of groups and organizations that already subscribe to this, and they are pushing that message from the inside out. And it only takes, I think, a half a percent or a 1% of the entire global population to get on board with this same idea in a synchronistic way in order for the thought system to ripple out like a wave to everyone. That's all the science and math and the superfluidity, I think, is the theory, right? So then it still takes a lot of time for it to generate. Like, I don't expect, there are still plenty of people on this planet that have never traveled outside of, 5 miles from their home, the home they grew up in, or 10 miles or whatever it is. It's a small distance, with advent of cars or even the bicycle, people do get farther from their home than they did, 100 years ago. But ever since we became an agrarian society, travel has been done by the few, not the many. And travel is what makes a person, have the ability to go, oh, wow, like, I can
be right now, I can be in Los Angeles, and in a matter of hours, I can be in Europe. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it really
Mm-hmm.
is not that far, not that, grand. But if you've never experienced that, just
Mm-hmm.
traveling from California to Arizona, or from, Virginia to Tennessee, can be monolithic. It can be so grand and so big that you can't
Mm-hmm.
even comprehend. Like if you had to walk, if you said, "Hey, I want you to walk to Canada right now from where you're at right now," you'd be like, it's going to take the supplies or the resources and the time. It's going to take days, weeks, months to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And, people say, okay, sure, we're on the same planet, we're drinking the same water and breathing the same air, but it's so far away. It doesn't really affect me. It's so big. If I throw this bottle outside of my window while I'm driving down the road, like, look
Mm-hmm.
how, there's miles
Mm-hmm.
and miles. They don't
Mm-hmm.
understand or aren't thinking globally, as in it adds up. If
This has
everyone does
been
that, it adds up.
uh, this has been specifically my draw to the tech world, and a lot of my experiences in, because there are two areas of technology that bridge this gap that you're talking about, is transportation and communication, right?
Mm-hmm.
The advances in transportation and communication. Transportation is just it's a material, resourceful way of extending communication.
Yeah.
This is why I've loved those two areas, because once you step outside of your bubble and you
Mm-hmm.
see that different perspective and point of view, which is the whole point of even growing and expanding knowledge, and that's the
Yeah,
whole
for
point of
sure.
growth.
Want more? Check out this clip or the full episode. And don't forget to leave a comment. If you want more conversations and clips, check out our channel. Thanks for listening. See you next time.